Hello and welcome to another video. In today's video we're going to cover a number of things. We'll be doing a review of this year, talking about our plans for next year, opening a decent amount of mail that we've got to open, and also responding to the Woodstove challenge. But more on that in a minute. As we said at the start of this video, we're going to be doing quite a few things today. So I'm going to start off with the review of the year, and I do have some notes here because there's quite a few things to remember. So if I look down, that's what I'm looking at. But we will start off with some of the projects that we've done this year, and we haven't really done or fully completed as many projects as we possibly did in previous years, which is probably because of some of the mock exams and other things I've got going on with school this school year. But the first project that we completed was the Bolens tube frame snowcaster, which is one of 3 that we know of in the UK. That is now in full working condition, so we can pull that out of the shed and use it at a moment's notice if we need to. And hopefully we'll get the opportunity to use it, but we haven't had any snow yet. But there's still a couple of months left of winter, so we might still get an opportunity to try that out. Also, we installed a digital readout system on our Cincinnati mill, and that was actually quite a big project, which we did most of it off camera, and it took quite a while to fabricate all of the brackets to hold on the scales onto the mill. But now that it's all fitted up, it's a very useful tool and makes the mill a lot more accurate when we're using it. And we haven't really featured the mill in a lot of recent projects, but I'm sure that'll come in handy with some videos in the new year. We also attended a number of tractor shows and classic car shows, and also some motorsports events at Snetterton, our local racetrack, and all of those kind of videos will be continuing into 2024 because we do like going to some of our regular shows, like the shows at Arming Hall that we took our Land Rover 92 this year, and also events like the Strumpshaw Steam Rally, which although we haven't exhibited at it before, we might consider doing that next year, or just go along because we think it is quite a fun event. We also started a number of projects this year that we haven't quite finished yet. The first of which is the Moto Standard 1010 project, which has been on pause for quite a while because of the complications we had with fitting the new engine. We have overcome a few of the problems, but we're still stuck on a few issues with that, so we'll try and find solutions for them and then do a bit of an update video, which I'm sure will happen next year at some point during the year. We also have the 1960 Bolens Ridermatic, which is one of our current projects that we're still doing. We have had some complications with that with the rear axle, but I'm sure we'll be able to get that sorted pretty soon and continue with that project, and hopefully go a bit quicker progressing through it than we have been recently. But that rear axle has been causing quite a few problems for us. Also, we've got the 1992 Bolens GT2000, which we are trying to get running for our friend Gareth, and that is also waiting for parts currently. It's a bit of a trend with some of these older tractors, is having to wait quite a while for parts during the project, but that's kind of a necessity. Also, you may remember we had our sleeve hitch project, where we took our old sleeve hitch that had a bunch of random stuff welded to it, and it was completely unoriginal, and we took that back to original kind of shape and form. And we did, at the end of that project, say we were then going to paint it, but we had a bit of a mix up with the paint, which we'll cover in a video in the new year when we get around to doing an update on this sleeve hitch. But when we get a bit better weather, we'll finish off some of the final coats of paint for that, and also maybe give it a try with a plough on the back of a tractor. Now on to opening some of our post here, and the reason we've got so much at the moment is because some of these arrived quite a while ago and we haven't gotten around to opening them on camera. This is because of some of the exams that I've been doing recently for school, so some of our videos were kind of recorded before the exam period, and therefore when the letters arrived we can open them in a video kind of that week or around that time. But we're getting to them now, so hopefully that will kind of make up for it. The first one has actually been waiting ages, so I do apologise to Luke from Orange is My New Green. This is from him. My technique might be a bit rusty having not opened these up for a while, but we'll see. Let's have a look in here. I do like Luke's Orange is My New Green kind of branded letter thing here. That's very cool, and it's got his logo on the back. There's a note here which I will read in a second, but we have one of his stickers here. This is version 2 of Luke's stickers, and he's done something very cool with the headlights of his tractor. In this sticker, you can see he's actually got some action shots of him using his Kubota, which is a great design in my opinion. Also, ironically, in his note, he encourages me to keep putting in the hours for my studies, which ironically is what delayed me opening these stickers. But thank you very much, Luke, for your new stickers. And if you'd like to see some very impressive snow clearance, go and check out Luke's channel, Orange is My New Green. And as with all of the channels whose post I've got here, we will put links to them in the description of this video, so you can go check them out, and I highly recommend you do so. The next one we believe to be from Noel's Garden Tractor and Firewood, so another sticker from Canada. We've actually got 3 bits of post from Canada today, and we've known Noel for quite a while from some of the tractor forums that we were on before we joined YouTube, and he's also got his own channel and has now made some stickers for it. He also has the neatest handwriting that I've ever seen, by the way, as you can see on this note. Some very nice handwriting on there, and I will read that in a second. But we have here his stickers, which you can see a few of his garden tractors and firewood equipment on. Just had a chance to read Noel's note. He thanks me and the cameraman for the stickers that we sent him, and also talks a bit about the great creator community that we're both a part of on YouTube, which is something that we both really value. Also random, but if anyone has one of these Massey Ferguson garden tractors in the UK and wants to sell it, we'd be very much interested in buying it, because that's one of the few tractors that we think we would still be interested in buying to complete our collection. That is Noel's Garden Tractors and Firewood. The link to his channel will be in the description of the video, so feel free to go check him out, and thank you, Noel, for sending us some stickers. The next bit of post is actually from the USA, and it is from Bota Bob, and as the name suggests, he has Kubota tractors, and he's actually sent us his stickers in a very robust envelope, which I haven't seen before. I think that's quite good. So it's got these bits that you kind of pull, and I'm sure I'll kind of make a bit of a hash of that, but it's actually not gone too badly. So if I just open this up now, there are quite a few stickers in here actually, of a couple of different sizes, and we've got a letter here too, which I will open in a second, but that is Bota Bob sticker design. We've just had a chance to read Bob's note, and I can assure him that my toothbrush jokes about my sister will continue into next year. He also encourages us to keep up our great videos, so thank you very much, Bob. Also, something to note is he's actually labelled who each sticker is for. This one's for me, this one's for the cameraman, and this one is for my sister, so I'm sure my cameraman and my sister will be very happy that they've both got stickers too, so thank you very much, Bob. And if you'd like to see some of the work he does with his Kubota and some of the firewood processing and stuff like that that he uses his equipment for, be sure to go check out Bota Bob's channel, link in the description. We're on to our last bit of post now, and we're going back to Canada for this one. This is from Kenny, and his channel is Open Air Adventure, and he's just finished a series about an ATV adventure that he'd been doing in Canada, which has been a great series to watch. And he also does some of the best shout out videos that I've seen. So I will just open this up now. And here we have a note, which I will read in just a second, and also an Open Air Adventure sticker. I've got a very nice note here from Kenny, so thanks, Kenny. And I do like the colour scheme you've got going on your Open Air Adventure stickers. So again, there will be a link to Kenny's channel in the description, and I highly recommend that you check out his channel. And there's no excuse for feeling bored in the new year now, because you've got 4 great channels here to check out. All of their links are in the description of this video, so that it's nice and easy for you to go and check out their channels, which I highly recommend doing. Before we go on to plans for next year, just a quick note on our Garden Tractor Boy stickers. In the last year we've given out around 100 of these, so that's very good. But if you don't have Garden Tractor Boy stickers and you'd like some, please do send us an email and we can send some of these to you. You should be able to find my email address on my channel homepage. It is a bit more hidden than it used to be now, because there's been a bit of a change there on YouTube. So if you struggle finding it, please do just drop us a comment and we can get around that issue. And then we can send you some Garden Tractor Boy stickers, and you get both designs. So you don't have to choose. But also, just a quick note on kind of channel statistics for this year. We've gotten almost double the amount of views this year as we did last year. So thank you very much to everyone for supporting. And we've gotten around the same number of subscribers, which is still very good. But if you're not subscribed, please do consider subscribing, because it helps the channel out quite a bit. But now let's talk about what our plans are for next year. In 2024, we hope to finish some of the projects that we started this year, like the 1960 Bolens Ridermatic, the Moto Standard, the Sleeve Hitch, and the GT2000, because it would be good to get some of those ticked off, running and usable. Another project that we'd like to do, if we get time, is a Bolens repower, where we take one of our old Bolens and put a modern engine in it and try and get the engine to fit the tractor and come out of that project with a more reliable tractor overall. But all of this depends on time, because next summer will be kind of my exam season for my GCSEs, and the results I get from them will effectively affect what college I get into, and if I get into the college that I want to go to. So they are pretty important exams for that reason, and therefore revising for them and focusing on them will have to be the priority, unfortunately. Finally, we are going to respond to the Woodstove challenge, and this was started by David, whose channel is RCAFpolarexpress, and this challenge is kind of about talking about your wood stove and things you use it for and stuff like that. And while ours on the exterior might just look like any other wood stove, the engineering and stuff behind it is quite interesting. Now we'll start over here with the wood burner, and you might be able to hear the wind whistling in there because it is quite a windy day today. Now I will point your attention towards the only visible part of the heating system that you can see, which is back there. I believe that is the outlet pipe for the water going through the water jacket that sits around the fire. Now that kind of goes around the sides, on the top, and around the back, and absorbs the heat from the fire and heats the water that is going through there. Now this is actually a key part of our whole house heating system, as I can show you on this diagram. This is the diagram that Dad would have used 20 something years ago to set this all up. I'm glad I wasn't here because this is quite complicated, but we've got my mum to draw up this in a much simpler way on this whiteboard here, because neither me or Dad are competent when it comes to drawing. Now you can see here we have the wood burner or the wood stove, and that has an inlet and outlet that is fed by gravity, with the hot water going back up to this device that I will talk about in a second. We also have this oil boiler, which is then pumped back towards this device, which is a neutralizer. And what this does is it neutralizes the pressure coming from both the wood burner and the oil boiler, meaning that if you have both of them running at the same time, when they have two different pressure things coming from two different directions, the thing in the middle won't go kaboom when they meet. And then effectively by gravity, the hot water goes into our hot water tank, and we also have a separate pump to pump the hot water into all of the radiators in our house. Now we don't often use the oil boiler, so for pretty much most of the year we have our wood burner feeding all of the hot water for our house, the hot water cylinder and the radiator. This is what the neutralizer part kind of looks like. It's kind of a cylinder, and it just gets rid of the pressure difference between the two devices when they're both running at the same time. Now normally if your house didn't have the wood burner system and it just had an oil boiler, you wouldn't need the neutralizer, and you also wouldn't need the second pump because you just use the pressure from this one. But because the neutralizer removes the pressure caused by this pump, you need the second one for the radiators. But as I said already, we don't often use the oil boiler, so pretty much year round our wood stove does all of the heating in our house. Now for the advantages and disadvantages of using our wood stove and using the heating system that we do have. And we'll start with the disadvantages. And as I showed before, this is quite complicated and difficult to install, but luckily for me, I didn't have to deal with that, the cameraman did. This also requires electricity to run because it has components like the motor valves and the heat stats that need electricity, but luckily in this area that we're in, we don't really get many power cuts, so that's not really a problem. Also, when you're running just the wood burner rather than using the wood burner and the oil burner at the same time, this does take quite a long time to heat the system, whereas the oil burner would just be kind of instant heat in the heating system. But if you're fine with a couple of hours for this to warm up, then this works just fine. And a kind of unexpected or indirect disadvantage of just using the wood stove is the fact that the oil burner doesn't get used very often, and therefore having the long amounts of time between uses can make it quite unreliable. But that's usually fine if you've got a reliable wood stove. Now moving on to the advantages of our wood stove and our heating system is with the wraparound boiler, it kind of removes the intense heat that you get from some wood stoves. So with some wood stoves without the wraparound boiler, you'll stand in front of it and it'll be way too hot, but then you'll go to the other end of the room and you'll still be cold. But with this, it's a nice moderate temperature when you're standing in front of it, and because it heats the radiators in the room, it's a nice moderate temperature everywhere in the room. Also, technically, this is free of charge to us because we process our own firewood, so it doesn't cost anything to put the fuel in it to burn and heat our water and do our heating for our house. And technically this is not using fossil fuels or any finite resources, since you can just grow more trees to put in it rather than an oil burner where you have to mine up more oil. So in my opinion, this is a greener way to do climate change. I hope you enjoyed our response to the Woodstove challenge from David at RCAFpolarexpress, and also our kind of roundup of 2023. Make sure to check out those channels that I previously mentioned. All of the links will be in the description of the video. But that is it for this video. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in 2024. Have a happy new year. Bye.